Okay, so hey, what's up, everybody? Just coming at you. Wanted to get this information out to you in person rather than type it out, because there's a lot of information that you've been seeing. So it's probably just easier if I talk about it at this point, because now we are officially 2 days out or a day out from the AP exam. So what should you be thinking about right before that you do this? So I have a couple things written down that I want to go over. I'm going to try and talk about everything and cover any last minute questions you might have. So at this point, you should have your e-ticket information. Either College Board emailed you 2 days before with your login code for the AP exam, or you've gone onto the College Board website and gotten your information there. You should have done the demo by now. You should know exactly how you're taking the AP exam, whether it be you want to copy and paste from a Word document, you want to save a Word document, attach it, you want to handwrite it and attach a photo. At this point, you've picked and it should be done, and you should have moved past that at this point. Tomorrow is the big day. 3:30 is when you have to sign in, and that'll give you that half-hour gap before the test starts at 4 o'clock. The test is going to be 2 FRQs, as we've talked about. Remember, there is no multiple choice on this. It all comes down to you and your writing. So it's 2 FRQs, 2 free response questions. The first question is going to have 2 stimulus attached to it. What is a stimulus? A stimulus is a chart, it's a graph, it's a picture, it's a map. It doesn't matter. It's just something for you to look at, so then they can, ask you questions about that, and you would constantly reference that and use that stimulus, right? It's how we did all the FRQs this week. So you have the first question, you get 2 stimulus, 25 minutes. Question 2 is FRQ again, but only 1 stimulus, and you get 15 minutes. You get 5 minutes after each question to upload your response. Do not waste time uploading this. Have a way that you want to do this. Now, this takes me to my next thing about time. They've recognized and they have said that students can use their notes. They realize that you would have done that no matter what. So they've designed the test to make it very difficult for you to find answers in your notes and online. There's no easy questions like identify stuff. There's no describe. There's no define. It's going to be complicated questions that require higher order thinking and connecting concepts. So what you should have in front of you note-wise is a little bit like a gigantic one-pager. All year we've done one-pagers before every unit test. Who knew that we would use that before the AP exam? But that's okay, because you've done it all year. And most of the time you've never used your one-pagers because you've been prepared. But this time you get to have a one-pager of all the content. So what I would recommend is having a one-pager in front of you, or your one-pagers from the different units. But have stuff on this resource page that you're not the best with. Have theories on it. Have definitions you're not good with. Maybe put your regions on it. Whatever you need to help you. I would also recommend tabbing your textbook. If there's any certain pages you like a map of agriculture or religious distribution or population densities, having those maps there could be really helpful. But don't spend your time going through all your notes to make sure you're right, because generally what students do on a take-home test is that they see the question and they're like, okay, I know the answer to this, but they want to be sure because they don't want to mess up. So then they spend the whole time looking through their notes to find exactly what they were looking for, and then they write it anyway. The difference is you only have 25 minutes. So if you spend 5 minutes reading and thinking, 10 to 15 minutes searching, that only gives you 10 minutes to respond. That's not enough time. The most you get to think and look around is maybe 5 minutes. But at the same time, don't rush your responses. And if you have extra time, you need to use it. Because unlike other AP exams where you could flip back and forth between questions, you have 25 minutes for one question and 15 minutes for the other one. So if you can write more, you should. Remember, you're explaining this as if the person reading it has no idea what's going on. Draw everything out. If you can ask why at the end of your statement, you didn't answer the question, right? So be very careful and very thorough in your responses. You're not going to lose points for going into detail and explaining things you think you wouldn't have to explain, especially if you use vocab. All you're doing is solidifying your answer for the reader. and making sure that you can guarantee those points. All right. Now, on to something even more important. They have realized that you might not finish the exam, and they said that's okay. They recognize that students will not finish, but they guarantee that you can still get a 5 on this exam without completing the FRQs. That means to get a 5, that the threshold for points is lower than the maximum amount of points that you can get, right? So don't freak out if you don't finish. There is absolutely no reason to freak out. You do the best that you can, answer everything you can, and that'll be it. Okay, now let's talk about cheating. The head of AP has come out on Twitter and said that they caught a ring of students cheating. And now they've notified every college in the United States of their cheating. Don't cheat. Just not worth it. Don't be known by every college as a cheater, because that's how you get kicked out of college, right? Most of you probably want to go to college. It'd be really awful to ruin it now. So what does cheating look like? Calling people, being around other people, texting people, messaging people on any social media app. Basically, don't talk to people and you'll be okay. If you use your notes, use your textbook, use anything in front of you. Don't search the web. Don't do that. Can't recommend that. But if you just stay within the confines of your notes, your notebook, and whatever device you're using, you're going to be okay. All right. And on that, they also have a rule generally where you can't talk about the exam till scores are released, but they have said that 50 minutes after the exam ends. So when the exam ends, at an additional 50 minutes, that's for the people with extended time, you can talk about it all you want. Go on Twitter, look at the memes, talk to people about it. We'll get together. I'll have, a Zoom thing or a YouTube live where we'll talk about it and we'll vent about the exam. Okay, so they will be graded mid-June. We'll have the scores in late July, which is fantastic. I get back every single script. That's unlike every year. 'Cause normally every year we don't get the scripts back, only if we request them, and we don't get your names or like how they were graded. But this year we get all the scripts back. We get your names attached to them, and we get to see the score distribution. So we can challenge College Board if you should have gotten more points, which you best believe I'm going to, especially with the people who get 2s, because I want to make sure that you probably could have gotten a 3. All right, so that is the serious stuff. Now let's talk about more of the mental, emotional part to the AP exam. First off, if you're still cramming, it's not worth it. You know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. The best thing to do at this point is to relax. Maybe work on that one pager, but staying up all night cramming, it's not going to do anything. Fortunately or unfortunately, the work that you've put in or not put in is now it's time. Now this is the decision time, and it's going to reflect what you did. And some of you are going to, probably a majority of you maybe, are going to pass this exam, and you're going to feel good. And some of you won't. But no matter what, don't feel bad. Okay? This test does not define you. This test does not dictate who you are or your worth. This test is simply a measurement of one class. Not passing an AP exam isn't the end of the world. It happens to all of us. It happened to me multiple times. You'll be okay. So there's no point in stressing out over it. Don't lose sleep tonight. Don't freak out. When you open that test tomorrow, don't blank and have an anxiety attack. You know what you know, okay? And you're all pretty smart. You have an idea of what this class is about. And for those that maybe didn't study as much, you still have the skills capable to answer questions and make it seem like you know what you're talking about. So don't freak out. Like I said, don't cram. It's not worth the anxiety. Whatever happens, happens. The most important thing to do after this exam, when we no longer have any more work to do, is to reflect and look back on your year in AP Human and think to yourself, did I do everything I could have? What can I improve on? Because you still have 3 years of high school. You have plenty of other AP classes. You still have plenty of other times to pass exams or to continue passing exams. It doesn't matter. But if you don't ever take the time to reflect on who you are and what you've done, then you can never grow. So take the time to really do that. Think about that. And just go into this thing tomorrow. Be as prepared as you can be. Have your devices ready. Have your notes ready. And whatever happens, happens. And we can't change that. So, like I said, don't stress out, everybody. You've done a fantastic job. I'm really sorry I can't be there with you. Normally, I love giving this speech to the classroom full of my students and talking about how great of a year it's been, because it has. It has been a fantastic 6th year teaching AP Human Geography for me. I absolutely love it. You are a great group of kids. You all have done a fantastic job. Every single class is fantastic. You're all very funny. You're very interesting, and you're all very capable. Like I said, it stinks I can't be there with you to give you a high five with leg, because I would love to, but all the same, I wish you all the luck tomorrow, and I probably will see you before the exam, or maybe and definitely after the exam, so we can rant about it. But you guys have been fantastic students. You've made me a better teacher, and I can't thank you enough. So good luck. Get some rest tonight. Relax. Stop stressing out, and know that after tomorrow, you're done, and you've done your year in AP Human Geography. I'm super proud of you for that accomplishment, no matter what happens. So we'll see you later, kids, and I'll see you on the other side.